Karl Marx's birthday, 200th birthday, was only a few days ago, and an event was held in his honor in Trier, the city of his birth. Now, the outcry that this sparked, and certainly explains why the European Union is sliding apart and potentially collapsing, at least in terms of ideological integrity, value integrity, and democratic cooperation. Uh, Jean-Claude Juncker, the president of the European Commission, showed up there and he gave a speech and defended some of Karl Marx's legacy. Now, there are a vast array of countries, huge number of countries within the European Union today who suffered under communism and to whom this is a very dark and ruthless and hideous spot in their history. Now, surely you might argue that as an ideological father or figurehead or thinker, he shouldn't be held accountable for any of the atrocities that his ideology and disciples have brought upon the world. You know, being the fact that there are probably a half to 1 million dead for every year since Karl Marx was born. But at the same time, to a lot of these countries, he's not just an ideological figurehead, but the founder of a cult and very much the leader and inspiration of a cult. So, and you know, a lot of European MPs and media people are, for example, now calling out Poland and Hungary for harsh authoritarian responses to policies that Brussels is trying to force upon the now firmly established Visegrad bloc. But the thing is that you can't really take countries like Estonia, for example, and put them under that same hat, because everyone who's intellectually honest and goes and looks at Estonia can see a very moderate, liberal country that is probably the most successful pillar of a centrist, balanced, moderate approach to politics. They have created a very business friendly environment, a very open, transparent, and online electronic government and public sector. So it's very accessible and it can be kept transparent because it is online. And you can keep power in check there to a degree that even I would have never foreseen. Yeah. And yet the Estonians, there was an Estonian institute. Let me just really quickly look at that. I will share these links, by the way. The Estonian Institute of Historical Memory. They declared that by participating in the festivities in Trier, Germany, celebrating the 200th anniversary of the birth of Karl Marx, President of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, is ignoring the fate of millions of victims of communism. And so this is coming from not the Polish government or the Hungarian leadership, but an independent institution in liberal Estonia. So, and this surely pissed off a lot of people, especially on the Eastern Bloc, and disenfranchised quite a few who've lived under totalitarian rules. And Europe saw a lot of those, not just in the East, but also in the South over the past century. So, I would surely suggest that this might be the time for Juncker to step down. I do think this is that severe in the eyes of a lot of the people that he needs to appeal to and appease if he wants to keep the European Union intact. But quite frankly, I don't believe that he will step down. And I do believe that the Eastern Bloc will see the Western Bloc move closer and closer to not just communist sympathizers, but also just moving closer to endorsing, applying, and embracing socialism, communism, Marxism, whatever you call this stuff. Endgame is the same, very much the same. And yes, there might be differences, tweak differences, but the core premise for them is on the same shaky foundation, and in spite of um, different different approaches, methodology, focus, pursuits. The end goal is the same, and they won't realize it. Not upwards, at least. They will realize it downwards, with the application of force and authority and policing everything into place. And anyways, I am very much not a fan for a whole array of very obvious reasons. But still, even if I was, the fact that there is a huge dispute on the topic within the European Union, when the president of the European Commission steps out into this fiery realm, then yeah, sure, it absolutely is not a politically profitable step for the integrity of the European Union, and thus I think either he needs to issue an apology for taking a stance in support of Marx's legacy, or he needs to step down if he is to actually build trust within the European Union. And of course, the European Union needs to consider some serious reform, because the way it's progressing, not gonna end well, boss. At any rate, those are my 2 cents on that, and of course, a few links in the description below on this story, so you can check that out. And yeah, that's it for now. Bye, King out.